What's up? It's Matt.
And Willow.
We're watching ORB episode 25, season finale. I think finale of the whole show.
Woo! I'm excited.
Yeah, we need to break some things down.
Okay.
First, though.
Yeah, I think we were being a little... Were we being silly? I didn't feel like we were being silly.
I will defend myself now. I will make my case.
Based on what you said. Okay, so what do we have to clarify?
Okay. Kingdom of Poland is not Kingdom of P. That's where I've been deceived personally.
Me too.
Everyone said Kingdom of P was Poland, so I thought we were in the real world the whole time, no matter what.
Yes.
At the first episode, I considered like, oh, is this real or is this like a fictional Kingdom of P? But then everyone was like, oh, it's Poland, so I was like, okay, we're in the real world.
My understanding was real world, fictional characters.
Yeah. So when it switched to Kingdom of Poland, I was like, we're still in Poland because that's what everyone said.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was. This isn't Crunchyroll. I guess this is Netflix.
Yeah.
I thought it was almost just a
subtitle
thing.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. But
or
it's not.
I thought when people were bringing it up that it signified something in history that at some point it changed
where like
from Kingdom of P to Kingdom of Poland.
Like P was short for whatever it was before it became Poland.
Yeah, I thought that might just mean like the country's more established.
That had occurred to me also because visually, it's like the same city. Like
it is supposed to be fictional.
Yeah, if you look at the art, no subtitle. You're like, that's where the show's been taking place.
Yeah.
And like makes sense that Novak's like kind of been there the whole time and all of that. Now.
Wait, how'd you get to Novak?
I was just thinking like people who have been living, like it's been taking place in this city that Novak lives in.
Yeah, but when they switched to Kingdom of Poland, that was post Novak.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. That's why I was just confused why you're bringing up Novak.
Never. Yeah.
Everyone was in Kingdom of P.
That's what I mean.
Except for Albert and new Raffle.
Yeah.
Here's the part where we were dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Is that more like 30-ish years I think have passed.
Yeah.
And Raffle was 12 like 30 years ago.
Okay.
And Albert would be in his he would not be just going to college in 30 years. He would be like the math doesn't add up from if us thinking it was young Raffle.
Him being a little guy with Raffle as his tutor does not match.
Albert would be 30 something at least. 30s and 40s.
Yeah, to be fair, I hadn't actually mathed it out, but I was like, maybe people go to university later in life. But that's not even true because Raffle was going to university at like 12.
Yeah. Also, Albert just doesn't look that old.
No, he doesn't.
He looks
old. That's true.
18, 20s.
Yeah.
So that's the part that I think we're dumb on.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, if people hadn't said anything in the comments, I might have gotten the Poland thing. But everyone's saying it's Poland is what fucked me up.
So, to clarify what you were saying too, what you told me before we started recording when I first got here today, you were like, Kingdom of P is a fictional.
You gotta stop it on the tape.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kingdom of P is a fictional version of Poland, where all of our fictional characters live. But Poland, obviously, real place, and Albert, real guy.
I still don't know who Albert is, though. A bunch of people have said if you know who Albert is, this makes more sense, but no one's explained who Albert is yet.
But Albert, I'm pretty sure there were comments. I didn't read them in detail, but on the previous episode, there was a little bit of a break because of schedule changes. Previous episode, people were saying it's like a Polish astronomer, Albert, whoever.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh.
I just heard people say Albert's a real person.
Yeah, I think he's like an actual astronomer.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know.
I didn't see that in the comments.
And when I say I don't know, you might have said it in the comments and I might have read it, but right now I don't know. I forgot.
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing that in the comments personally. If it was there, I missed it. I only saw people saying Albert's a real person. It makes more sense if you know who Albert is.
No,
I didn't see anyone explain Albert because I've been waiting for someone to explain it.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I might have looked it up too. I don't remember.
Yeah,
like I might have just looked up like Albert. Poland,
I mean, that makes sense what you're saying. I'm just I don't know, and I don't remember seeing that in the comments. That's all I'm saying. But Raffle, new Raffle.
So new Raffle is what?
Is Albert's teacher being portrayed as the same person that was the fictional Raffle that we know.
Okay.
Which is, I think, supposed to be symbolic of him learning potentially from fictional things, or learning from
interesting.
I think like the new Raffle to me maybe symbolizes all of the knowledge that like, or not knowledge, like he's basically everything that like us as a viewer or Albert would learn from like a story like the show, or like in books. Like he's representative of that, is what I'm kind of guessing it is, or
it's
not
all
specifically
encapsulated in him.
Yeah, I'm not finding the best words. Not like specifically this story, but like there was so much talk about like writing being passed on and inspiration being passed on. I think the fact that it's represented as Raffle is that
it's almost like a Raffle and all of the other characters, their stories sort of pass the knowledge on to us, and so like we recognize him as someone who would pass it on. Like that wasn't a good way to describe that. Like,
yeah, I can't describe it well, but I think we both know what
we're trying to like he, as the character we started with in the show, symbolizes sort of like everything that happened in the show being passed to Albert as the next generation. Like,
yeah, pretty much. Or even if it's not specifically what happened in the show, just the knowledge from history or whatever came before, whatever Albert learned from being passed
from these past ages. No, it's very interesting. Okay.
But so that changes a lot about the show.
That does change a lot about the show.
I think it fixes my issues with it.
I agree. We were a little bit low on last episode when we watched it.
Yeah.
And I think that this is more interesting. The thing that doesn't make sense then, if this is the case, and I know we're talking a lot before we start the show, but it's the last episode. What about the letter that Draka sent to Pataki's place?
I think that is the end of this. Like that's the end.
That's just the end of the story.
Yeah,
and it's almost like symbolic that, like, it is getting just passed on next chain.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what I think, at least.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have like it fully fleshed out, because I think yesterday was when like I was talking to people in the comments and really got the breakdown.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that long since I haven't had that much time to ruminate with this new
I got
knowledge.
the breakdown like less than a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So
but I think like I was underwhelmed that if this was a continuation of where we were at, that this was kind of just like an ending to it, because like we were saying,
it almost felt more like a little epilogue.
Yeah. But it still does, but in a very different way that now adds like a new layer of themes and things to the show.
There's a lot more to sort of analyze and think about when you realize that it's saying Kingdom of Poland is the switch from fictional to like real Poland. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that I almost need to like watch the last episode again.
Yeah, I wanted to do that too, switch. But I didn't get to that before today. Yeah, I just think it adds like you think about everything that happened in the first 23 episodes in a different light and different way.
Yeah.
And like what the author is trying to portray has a new layer to it.
Yeah.
To break down and think about.
No, for sure.
That I haven't fully gotten there yet.
I agree.
But it reminds me of, I'm a big Persona guy.
Yeah, you are a big Persona guy.
Metaphor is like fantasy Persona. Metaphor be Fantasia. But like that game initially sets up the premise of like, oh, this is a fantasy world, but how much of fantasy like affects reality? Is it powerless because it's fantasy or fiction or whatnot? And I feel like a lot of those themes are now also a part of this show, which I really like. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And we're watching a fictional or mostly fictional show and gleaming insight from it and stuff like that. And it's like now that's applying that to almost like within the show as well.
Yeah, it makes you want to go back and like like all of the things that like Yolento was saying, and all of the things that like people were saying things about like history and about like things being passed on that I'm like, I wonder if those take on a different meaning if you think
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
what
And
I
like,
mean.
yeah, so I don't know. I think that's really, really interesting. And thank you everyone in the comments for pointing it out, because like, again, it's not perfect, especially when you're dealing with these like subtitles and things like this is on Netflix, but like Crunchyroll specifically sometimes makes mistakes, and like we've had like little things in ReZero that got like mistranslated and things, and
Yeah.
so it's good to know.
Like,
And
we're watching
sometimes,
Demon Slayer, and some translations switch from season 1 to season 2.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
Kingdom of P and Kingdom of Poland could just be they switched the
Yeah.
translator for that episode.
Yeah, and also like, you know, for all of the attention that we're trying to pay to the show, like sometimes we'll just miss things too. So
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think a lot of the stuff that to me potentially felt like it fell flat or is meaningless and at towards the end now could be viewed that there is meaning to show through this fictional story to somebody who's in the real world, which changes it from just being like a portrayal of history that is not very impactful, if that makes sense.
No, for sure, because yeah, kind of saying like, I'm trying to remember what, like you were saying, like it sort of dampens the impact a little bit if like now the church is just okay with heliocentrism, like everybody just kind of died, and then like now Albert just gets to kind of do it, but because the church is okay with it, now it's like fine, you know, and like that felt a little bit. There were still things to glean from that, but like we had been talking about how that felt a little bit like, oh,
at least underwhelming compared to the rest of the show.
But now it doesn't. Like, because now you can sort of look at everything with the church and with the story of all the main characters as like this encapsulated thing that teaches Albert something. And like, I don't know. I know we're kind of talking circles about it a little bit too, but like it's super interesting.
Also, still both gathering our opinions on everything that is new information to us, even though we potentially should have gotten it before. But well, that's our essentially post episode 24 discussion. Before
post episode 24 part 1. This show has been so good and has so many layers and so many themes and everything that like we like taking a little bit of extra time for shows like this to like make sure that we're getting things good. So, yeah,
I'm hoping what I want from this episode is something that like addresses the themes of the show a little bit and ties it all together. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's all I'm really hoping for too.
And I want to go back and watch the last episode because I feel like I would maybe change things now that we have the new information we have. But I still don't think it, like, off the top of my head, did anything too crazy. Like, it just talked about some things that were important, but it wasn't like wrapping up anything significant of the show, which is what I want out of this episode.
Yeah, it was showing Albert, like, we don't really know why Albert gave up astronomy still, and we don't know where he's going to go from here or like what sort of ripple effects that might have. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see, especially if he was a real guy, like how all of this ends up kind of applying to him too. I don't know, because he's still like in like the confession booth or whatever. Like, I don't know. Very interesting. But yeah, last episode, like I do agree that like there was a lot of interesting stuff from Rafal, and I think the like sort of like gets taken away by the switch, but I still like don't know 100% where we're going.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to be like, oh, I can see this really wrapped up the show. We got to see that here. So
let's see it here.
Let's get into it.
We don't have subtitles.
We don't need them. You didn't learn Japanese?
Yeah, we learned Japanese.
I was just rolling with it. I didn't even pick up on it.
Okay. Sick. Little guy. Glad everyone's down.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Huh. I don't really know what to make of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he said last episode about, like, there was kind of like, what can we use this for? But then he was also just like, I'm just curious because I want to be, and it like stirs my soul.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was kind of saying, like, we need it to stir the souls.
I'm a little lost on what he's saying, like, when knowledge becomes more widespread of losing curiosity, because I'm unsure if that makes sense to me.
I know. I wasn't certain either. It's kind of crazy to just be like, hey, little kid, you want to talk to those 4 adults about science?
Yeah, let me drop you off.
Oh no.
Maybe one of these labs has a...
Oh, damn.
He's dedicated.
He's dedicated. Oh, dude, I don't know. Is his dad gonna be dead? Oh. Wait, what the
What
fuck?
in the world?
What? Huh? What are we cooking? Oh, I was just stabbing your dad.
This is a dilemma.
Rafael, what the fuck? What the fuck? Okay.
This is not what I was expecting.
No, this is not what I was expecting at all. Okay. But he said no? Why though?
この説は現状の宇宙論と異なるもので、最後には資料を燃やすと言った。
So we gotta kill him?
Yeah.
知だの学びだの言っておいて、所詮不審に走る俗物だった。おっと、今のはお父さんに対して。
You just killed him!
撤回するよ。ごめん。知を共有しないで独占してた。
Yeah, we can't have that.
Well, we could.
I mean, we could. What the fuck? No! You can't ask him for help! Huh.
Did he ever go back to the meetings?
Yeah.
疑えとこれが地に関わったものの末路です。学問だの真理だのは人間には荷が重い。その二つは矛盾する。
You can find a balance.
知性を一方では物体的で他方では非物体的と捉えました。この世界が存在するという奇跡を感じられないでいる。奇跡とは
That's interesting.
必然に満ちた領域で生まれる偶然のことです。必然が生まれることです。
What? No.
昔のあなたはそれらを感じていた。この世のすべてが奇跡的だと知っていた。奇跡まで失ってしまった。それこそ、あなたが生きる場所だったのに。私が昔、 友人を見殺しにしたことです。
ん
発端は友人がある仕事で、あの時どうするのが正解だったのか
I don't know if I'm getting all this. I can't
答
lie.
えは出ていません。
I'm just trying to figure out if
今後も出るかわかりません。しかし、一つだけはっきりしてるのは、
he's like an eye patch. Is he like
この悩みを言葉にできた。そのせいで
He's an eye patch?
今日からより一層
Yeah.
苛まれるでしょ
I
う。
didn't see that.
しかし同時に
it
今
almost
日が
seems like
一
it's
歩目になった
like
と信じます。それはあなたも同じです。
I mean I thought he had an eye patch.
あなた
Oh
は
maybe
私に
maybe
話
not.
してくれた。きっと
If
そう
both his eyes are kind of
神は私たちを認めてくださる。
I think it's just dark.
yeah never mind I think it's just dark.
いつでも私たちの居場所になってくださる。私たちは考え続けられるのです。私はそれを幸福だと思いたい。なら一体何を捧げればこの世のすべてを知れると思いますか？
That's a cool question.
That is a cool question.
I don't know the answer though.
Nah.
その答えを探してください。何のために？そこで大学へ行くのは一つの道だと思いますよ。
この世の美しさのためなら犠牲はやむを得ない。
That's crazy still. I know.
僕は何があろうと。
先生、何か犠牲になっても構わない。
I'm not sure I'm picking up what anyone's putting down this
I
episode.
might be picking up some of it.
だけどあな
I
た
I get what they're saying, but I'm not really sure the significance of it, the relevance.
この世のすべてを知るために何を捧げればいいかなんてわからない。
I don't think it was murdering somebody.
Probably not.
父さんも有効じゃなかったことだけは確かだ。
Yeah, that checks out.
僕らは足りない。だから補い合える。そうじゃなきゃこの世界には挑めない。
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
人間は社会的な動物だ。あなたとは違ったやり方で
Okay.
疑いながら進んで大学へ行かせてください。
Hell yeah.
アルベルト・ブルゼフス
Okay, that's probably like the reveal for people if they need to Google his name.
僕の地元の
Yeah.
です
I never heard of this guy.
I haven't either.
じゃあ明日から好きな授業を受けて
Take whatever classes you like. This is crazy. This is not my college experience. They said you gotta take whatever 101. I was like, damn. Oh shit. Oh my gosh. He did the Schmidt thing.
うちに
はい。
Well, yeah.
お
Oh! Wait. Okay, now I'm just lost.
全然知らないよ。前ここに住んでた人とかかな。
Cause this isn't even out.
No. So he's not at Patafi's house. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, there's Albert.
利益の1割を贈与します。
Oh.
この本ってやつの題名もなんだ
Wait, okay, now I'm more confused.
He's just walking by?
書き違いかな。運動するのは天球だし。
Me too, a little bit.
1468年、
Okay.
アルベルト・ブルゼフスキは20年にわたり教員として働く。
Damn, okay.
大学では主に結論は保留した。1482年、彼は同書は大学で広く学び続けられた。
Okay.
コペルニクスという名の
I know his name.
Yeah, now we got there.
That's Mr. Heliocentrism to me. What the fuck? Okay.
I'm gonna say I don't know I don't. That
Wait,
didn't
are
click
we
for me.
stupid?
Oh wait, is the outro different? Wait, what are you stupid of?
Hold on.
I feel stupid after watching that, but I think for
Feels-
different reasons.
The printing press.
I can't remember if it was in the outro before. Brad Plum.
Problem, shout out. Okay.
You're gonna. All right, you gotta take the wheels on this.
All right. Number one, we talked a lot in the beginning about everything being fictional except these last 2 episodes. If that's true, how is there the Pataki letter?
That might be symbolic. I don't know.
Because now I'm like, is that not the case? But like Rafal, I do agree that the Rafal doesn't line up. I'm gonna do some research, but
Unless I misunderstood the comments, but I could have sworn people were saying now the fictional world has ended and now we've switched to the real world.
I don't know what to think about that anymore because of the letter. But
honestly, I didn't really get much from this finale, if I'm being honest, on a first
Well,
watch.
I thought it was interesting in like Rafal shanking the dad, right? I thought that was interesting as kind of like a if this Rafal like represents everything, like the first 23 episodes of the show, like, and the protagonists that we've been like viewing.
Yeah.
And the dad was almost kind of like the church in that like he didn't want to give out the information.
Yeah.
And so like I almost felt like that was kind of like a little like mini encapsulation of the show a little bit, where it was like,
yeah, I get that.
The Rafal people want the truth, but like at any cost. But like I didn't even really feel like that was the point all the time with like,
no,
but
that
then
doesn't add up to me.
It doesn't really add up to me either, but like it's strange that Rafal would be like the vehicle for that. Like,
yeah,
like Rafal doing something violent in the end is like weird to me.
Unless it's kind of supposed to, I don't know, like say that the extremes that like we saw throughout the show were too far, but like I don't.
Well, it also ended with him echoing what Rafal said, which is that like sacrifices are unavoidable, and so it was almost like it wasn't too far. Like,
but he said
shanking the
Rafal
dad.
he said that wasn't.
Yeah, but he
the
also
way.
said Rafal was wrong. Like that's what's weird to me.
I feel like they just kind of talked about this episode, like what it kind of means to seek knowledge and isn't important and whatnot. Like, obviously, I'm just very summarizing.
Yeah.
But
Obviously,
like,
they said it better than we're saying it. But like,
I'm not really seeing the tie-ins to the rest of the show that much, other than just like an extremely broad perspective on knowledge, which I feel like I didn't need to watch the show to understand.
yeah.
And I still don't really like see the tie-in with Albert. Like,
I think it's a little strange that everything ended with like a butterfly effect, basically. Like the him overhearing the letter caused him to be a little skeptical of geocentrism, which caused Copernicus to actually do it.
that's the part I like. That's the one part of this episode that I really rock with.
Really?
Yeah, that to me is like what this whole show was about.
I think I agree. Like I'm not saying that I didn't like it, but I think I don't know what they were doing with Rafal killing his dad and like all of that. Like I don't know how I was supposed to interpret that stuff. I felt like we could have had the Pataki thing happen. Maybe it's so that we understand Albert and care about Albert and like his decision to continue. Because like maybe it wouldn't have been as satisfying if it was just like, okay, so like to catch up my thoughts.
Yeah, you've lost me.
How would you feel if episode 23 was the last episode, but the last 5 minutes were the last 5 minutes of this, where like random dude
I
is
feel way
passing
better.
on the street.
Personally, I would feel way better.
The letter is received, and he's like, "Huh."
That was the part to me that tied into the rest of the show and made perfect sense, and the continuation of like things getting passed along and the impact that it made on the world. But none of the other stuff really I could connect to the main series, other than just a broad scope of like philosophically talking about knowledge and what's important and whatnot. I didn't really see any like direct themes that I was like, okay, now this connects to this part of the show and this connects. It was kind of just like very broad to me.
That's how
not in a bad way, but it's just like
it wasn't. No, I agree. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of like a reflection. I think on one hand, like having if it's like how I just described in the show is 2 things shorter, and like you see, then you're like, okay, who's Albert? Like, why do I care about him? So like,
well, then
I
you
feel
can
like
look it up.
Well, yeah, like I think it was interesting to give him this motivation. Like he had to sort of like, I guess the last one is like what happened in his life, and through talking to the priest about it, he like went through all of the lessons that the other 23 episodes of the show taught us in like the span of one conversation, and then came to the conclusion that like it's worth pursuing knowledge. Like, but
I just feel like I didn't need that conversation to get to that point, and it still wasn't enough for me to care about Albert's character very much. So it's like not that I hated him, but it's like I just
he was
wasn't
fine.
invested in him the same way I was, and I don't have any connection to him historically or what. Like I've never heard the name in my life.
No, for sure. Maybe I would feel differently if I did. I'm still like digesting a lot. Like I don't know how to feel about the last 2 episodes.
I could see myself like revisiting it and coming to a different conclusion. But
I
right
agree.
now, off the first watch, this kind of just felt like a very broad thing that was kind of like not super well rounded within the show's context.
Yeah. I don't think it was a bad ending. Like I don't know. I'm hesitating a lot, not because I thought it was like super disappointing or terrible, but because I'm still trying to like wrap my brain around it. Like I think it was an interesting choice. I feel like I'm still really trying to like digest the whole Rafal killing his dad thing. Like I don't know what that's like supposed to tell me about the show.
I don't know. Yeah, I really was trying this whole episode to see what they were getting at, which felt like, the pursuit of knowledge is important, and there's so much that, goes into that and whatnot. It's like, but I don't know. I was trying to tie it to everything that's occurred throughout the show and what the meaning of the show is. And I felt like I gained nothing new from this episode.
Yeah,
which is my problem with it.
It's not that these episodes were bad, and it's not that the show was bad. The show was really good.
Yeah.
But like by the time you finish Draka's and Novak's stories in 23, you're like kind of already at this point.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I understand all of this.
Yeah.
By episode 23.
I just want to see I feel like I will say if their goal was to just kind of round it up, I think this was a pretty good way to do it, and I think there were some lines that like there were some one-liners in this episode in particular that were like, if you had to say like what the show was about in one sentence, like that was what it would be about. Like I'm just trying to.
There was one thing the priest said that I really liked.
Yeah.
I can cut this out if you're.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't trying to like rewatch it. I was just trying to think like. I can't remember what the specific lines are now because I'm thinking about too many things. But like, yeah, the priest definitely had a couple like pretty banger lines. He had a couple pretty banger lines about like.
Oh, what do you give up to seek the truth? That's the part that
that was really good.
I really liked.
Yeah. Oh, and the Rafal and Albert line of like, in the pursuit of truth, sacrifices are inevitable kind of a thing. Like that was like not 100% what the show is about, but that was like a really big part of it. I feel like where everyone was sacrificing themselves for the truth.
Yeah, but it also presented the question of like how important is it to seek the truth? Because like Rafal was talking more about it like as a like a passion and not a necessity in a lot of ways.
I thought
So
that was a
that's
little
why
strange too.
I feel like that kind of contradicts saying sacrifice is necessary to seek the truth, or like it doesn't contradict it, but the importance. If you're saying it's important to seek knowledge and seek the truth, also saying
Yeah.
it's a more of like aspects of it are more about like feeding the soul, as you put it before, like
Yeah.
that. Those two, like those are different levels of importance.
Yeah.
So they don't contradict themselves, like in what they're actually saying, but what the purpose of, or not the purpose, but you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying.
No, no, I do get what you're saying. I think like it's almost sort of like rather than like it almost seems like to Rafal, like maybe this is something that this episode was really hitting home that like maybe some other things didn't, where like curiosity and truth are like this. It's like we can't ever really know, but like it's super like important to always be like pursuing the truth and pursuing curiosity. No, he was talking about it. I don't know. I just think like I'm still trying to piece it together. I think I need to watch the show again.
I don't. Yeah, I'm just very surprised because I know people love the ending too, at least based
I
on
thought
what
it
people
was
are saying.
really interesting. Like I was shook that Rafal stabbed his dad. I think like I guess okay. Best way for me to sum it up is like I loved this show.
Yeah,
Incredible. I don't think the ending was bad, but like you said, I don't really know what the ending was really given me that the rest of the show didn't give me.
yeah, that's
And
exactly how I feel.
and I'm very willing to on another watch or through talking to people be told what it's giving me or find out what it's giving me and come around to it. Like I might end up really loving this ending if I watch the show again.
Yeah,
But like
that's exactly how I feel.
yeah. And
I think it's a 10 out of 10 show, and then
Yeah.
when it hit episode 23, it like there's aspects of these episodes that are very interesting, but overall nothing that like I as a viewer took away from the show changed within these last two episodes.
Mhm.
Everything I took away was pre
Yeah, and like maybe
the
that's
last two
fine. Like it
episodes.
is only 2 episodes. It is kind of an epilogue. Like we don't say epilogue is a bad thing. I know we were kind of saying that last time we reacted, but like it's not bad. It just it feels like it's trying to do more than be an epilogue with the Rafal stuff. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's trying to tell me something else. And I don't really know what that is. But again, maybe we're missing something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something completely, but
Me too. I'm right there with you, dog.
and like sure it's cool to see Albert brought it to Copernicus, but like I don't watch a show to learn about real history. I can just read about real history. I watch a show to take away like the themes of the show and the narrative that's interesting that I can like take things from, and just being like I don't know.
No, I know what you
This
mean.
is what
It's
Albert
like,
did. I don't really care. I
No,
can go
like,
on
it's
Wikipedia and read
yeah,
that.
it's cool that Albert is in the show and you can connect the show to real history, but like
yeah,
the show itself is more about the journey than like learning. Which I don't think the show's whole point was trying to like teach us about Albert.
no, I'm just saying
for-
that felt like a little bit of an aspect of this episode that like me
Yeah.
personally, I don't give a fuck
Yeah,
about.
it doesn't hit as hard. Yeah. I get you. I get you.
I would have rather it like them say Albert and other like I obviously wouldn't know who it was because I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but other people would be able to be like, oh, that's so cool, it ends with this, and then I can see that other people like
You'd like it to be a little bit more of an Easter egg
Yeah, an
rather
Easter
than
egg.
like a drop at the end.
yeah, I would have much
Yeah.
preferred them say his name at the university and then not have a little spiel about how it got to
Yeah.
Copernicus
I
personally.
think I can see why they did that because like I think that it's cooler if it's a reveal or like an Easter egg, I think, but also how many people who watch the show are gonna like you can't guarantee that people are gonna engage with it further than that. And so like I think
yeah, I guess
it's
that's
kind of
fair.
nice to have like my whole time I thought the show when we started I was like maybe it'll end with Copernicus. You know, like, because that's like the heliocentrism guy that I learned about in school.
Yeah.
So like it is cool to see, oh, this was a real guy that I didn't know about that ties into the guy that I do know about. And like
That is cool. I do, yeah.
Yeah, and kind of maybe there's something too about like ending. I mean, I say this if you're a scientist and or Polish or however else, and you know about Albert and he's like a big guy. I'm sorry for saying this, but like,
I wasn't gonna say this, but I think you're getting there.
We're ending on a guy. We're not ending on Copernicus, which is what you'd expect. We're ending on a guy who is like maybe lost to history for the common,
actually,
common normie American person. So like, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's cool to end on with all of the stuff that the other characters are saying about like history forgetting us.
Yeah.
Like it's cool to sort of go up the ladder to the guy right before the guy, you know.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty sick.
Because that is what all of the characters throughout the show were basically doing.
And that even makes me like spending some time on Albert a little bit. See, like as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's kind of cool. But like,
I still just think though, like that could have been done within 5 minutes in episode 23,
I think
not 2 episodes.
That would have been my instinct if I was like imagining the show myself. But
I think they could have showed Albert walking by, hearing the letter, going to university, and saying, "My name's Albert," whatever, and that would have and he would have thought about heliocentrism for a minute and looked at the stars.
Yeah,
and that could have been perfect for me.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's very cool. I feel like we could go on, but we'll keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people will have to say about this.
Let us know. This has been a really, really fun show to watch. It's done, honestly, like we weren't sure, not that it's all about the views. We watch shows that we want to watch, but like, seems like a lot of people have been really enjoying this one and a lot of people are passionate about the show. So let us know what you thought about the ending. Be nice to us. Don't call us stupid unless we're like really dumb.
I just want to throw this out there. For anyone, I don't know where everyone's watching from.
Oh, true.
I do not think in the New England America school system they teach about Albert. It's that we're dumb.
You got to invest.
We do not learn about Albert.
We did not go to any school involving science. Like there was science in high school, but like we didn't.
They never brought up Albert.
They didn't bring up Albert,
and I dropped out of college. You don't have an excuse.
I'm a creative writing major, so like the fictional stuff is where I'm at. So yeah, we're not the people to know who Albert is.
Yeah, and I think. Maybe this is me just like projecting my own school experience. I don't think that many people in America would know who Albert is.
I would agree. I think you'd have
I don't think that's common.
You'd have to be invested in the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree too. Comment if that's not true.
Yeah, that's just to address when you're saying Albert is someone who no one knows
I'm not
about.
trying to diss Albert Brood. I forget his name, but he's Polish. Not trying to diss him by saying like it's really cool that he's a real historical figure, and like if you know about him, that's awesome. But
it's just the type of thing like sometimes I wouldn't think I think things are obvious that people know.
Oh,
based on what we do. So like I'm saying it kind of jokingly, but like someone who lives in Poland or something might not realize that is not common knowledge for everyone who lives everywhere.
And we don't know if it's common knowledge for the Polish audience. We don't know if that's common knowledge, if that's more common than we think. Who knows? But it's cool.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we're thinking about the knowledge that everybody has, which is in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, even if we were a little more incredulous about these last 2 episodes, this is like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 show for me. It was really, really, really good.
I
exceeded expectations.
At the lowest, I give it a 9 out of 10.
I agree.
And at the highest, it could be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I will absolutely watch the show again and recommend it to people. And like, real good.
Yeah, it is one of the best shows I've seen in a minute. So yeah.
It's really cool. And I'm surprised. Like, I really hadn't heard much about it before you brought it up. So, good stuff.
Well, watch Steins Gate and Demon Slayer and whatever, and JJK and Freerun and all the shows we're watching next.
Yeah. We're watching a bunch of different anime. We're going to keep an eye out for, shows like this that are really good and popular ones. So if you enjoyed this journey with us, like and subscribe.
Yeah, Steins
really
Gate. What's replacing this?
Steins Gate. I feel like people like right after this.
Some people.
We're very excited about Steins Gate. We've recorded the first few and we're loving it. So
yeah. See us there.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.